I was absolutely honoured to be named one of Drinks International's top 25 Australian bartenders this year, and as a really cool reward, they've actually collated a heap of recipes from myself and everyone else into a book. A real life book. So I thought I would show you my original creation for it. One of my favourite classics is the Jabberwocky. So I took inspiration from Roku Gin and sort of did a bit of a twist on that, which plays on those Japanese flavours in the gin, and is also named after a fictional monster. Now the original that's in the book actually was with Yuzushu, which is like a yuzu and sake blend. I couldn't get any more of that, but that was just a little bit of an impetus to come up with something even again a little bit different. So I stuck with the yuzu but went with a little yuzu vermouth, which is from Unico Zello, a producer over in South Australia. And so running with that being a little bit rounder and richer and less kind of zippy and martini-like, which is more what the classic is like, I thought I would go with Amontillado sherry rather than manzanilla, and then call it the Kaiju Martinez. So we'll start with some ume bitters, so kind of like a Japanese plum, so really works well with these like nice rich fruity flavors. A couple of good dashes of that. So for this one, we're gonna go 30 mils of the Roku. The original Jabberwocky uses Lillet Blanc, so fortified wine, so sort of sticking with that vibe but playing on the yuzu that's in the gin. 30 mils yuzu vermouth. And again, rather than the drier manzanilla, a little bit nuttier Amontillado sherry. And I just do 20 mils of that because I kind of want the other two ingredients to be a little bit more in the forefront. So just 20 mils of the Amontillado for a nice little backbone there. So again, sticking with that kind of Japanese vibe, I'm actually using like a little pickled ginger. So obviously you could not be lazy and actually pickle it yourself, but you can buy it from supermarkets and things, and then you have plenty left over from your sushi. And what you want to do with that is just grab a couple of pieces and kind of roll it up, and then you can skewer it together, and it almost looks like a little flower, like a little ginger rose, which is quite cute. Then you're just gonna fill your mixing glass with ice and give it a stir. Such a nice color, that real ruby red. And then we just pop our little ginger rose on the side there. And there we have a Kaiju Martinez. Now I know this isn't going to be one that necessarily you're going to be able to recreate, because obviously the yuzu vermouth is a pretty specific product to be using in there, but it's just to give you a little bit of an idea of how you can substitute in and just have a play around. If there's a particular cocktail that you like, then just, you know, thinking about other ways that you can do a similar sort of ratio or similar flavor profiles and mix it up a little bit. So now you know. I love getting a bit of a whiff of that quite sweet pickled ginger and that little bit of spice from it on the nose. And then it's very kind of obviously quite winey tasting. So if you do prefer cocktails like a little bit lower in ABV, it's a good after dinner sort of substitute for something like a Manhattan or whatever. Not quite as boozy and rich, but still has that real lovely kind of juicy fortified wine flavor to it. Or indeed, obviously, a Martinez. So if you like the idea of having lots of unique cocktails, but it does also have plenty of classics and things as well, then definitely click on the link in the bio for the book. If you use the code BOMBA in all caps, then you'll get $10 off your copy. And there is an international shipping, because I did check that and actually sent one to my home to make sure that it got there. Cheers.